Hi, it's Kevin at Mind Trainer Meditation and Yoga. Thank you for joining me. This is an exciting moment for me in my small business. I am about to add a new course to my offerings, potentially in the coming months. And this video is really all about introducing Yoga Nidra to my clientele, both past, present, and future. Benefits of Yoga Nidra. Deep relaxation systematically relaxes the body and mind, often described as reaching a state of conscious sleep that can feel as restorative as several hours of conventional rest. Stress reduction calms the nervous system by shifting the body from the sympathetic fight or flight to the parasympathetic rest and digest state. Mental clarity helps quiet mental chatter, improving focus and cognitive function by providing a structured path to sensory withdrawal. Emotional regulation provides a safe space to acknowledge and release pent-up emotions or long-held tension. Improved sleep quality. Practicing regularly can help establish better sleep patterns and make it easier to fall asleep at night. Accessibility requires no physical movement, making it accessible for individuals with limited mobility or those recovering from injury. Yoga Nidra mini session. The following is a mini session, approximately 15 minutes in length, to give you an idea what Yoga Nidra is. In a full course, sessions would last approximately 45 minutes. Yoga Nidra is usually practiced lying on your back on a yoga mat. However, it can also be done seated in a chair should you happen to have physical mobility issues which prevent you from easily getting down onto a yoga mat and back up again. Use pillows, cushions, and blankets to make yourself as comfortable as possible. If you have mobility issues and you plan on practicing Yoga Nidra in a seated posture, you should make your chair as comfortable as possible. If you use a folding metal chair for chair yoga practice, don't feel compelled to use a folding metal chair at home for your practice of Yoga Nidra. In fact, use the most comfortable chair that you have if you prefer. An easy chair, a sofa cushion, whatever chair is your most comfortable one. Here in my home studio, I have this folding metal chair, and so if I were going to practice Yoga Nidra here in a seated posture, I would make this chair as comfortable as possible in a few different ways. So number one, I will cover the cold metal with just an extra blanket, a folded one to provide a little bit of cushion and support. Speaking of cushion, I'm going to use a nice comfortable pillow on the seat of the chair. And as I get myself comfortably seated for my practice of Yoga Nidra, I also have one additional blanket, which I will use to cover my body. During the practice of any meditation, often the extremities feel cold. And so feel free to cover up your entire body to whatever extent you choose. And you can do this in whatever way is comfortable for you. This is just an example of how you may make yourself as comfortable as possible in a seated posture for the practice of Yoga Nidra. If you are choosing to, in traditional practice of Yoga Nidra, lie down for this practice, you may use, of course, a yoga mat as I have laid out here and seated upon in my home studio. But of course, if you don't have a yoga mat or if you do not feel comfortable lying on the floor, you may, of course, also utilize your favorite comfortable sofa or even your bed. In terms of making yourself comfortable in Shavasana, there are a few props that you may wish to have on hand. I use a yoga bolster. Sometimes I will place this under my knees when I'm lying in Shavasana. I do sleep with a cushion under my legs when I sleep at night. So this is just simply an extension of that. Now, if you don't have a yoga bolster, no worries. We'll just slide that to the side. An easy replacement or substitute is simply a rolled up blanket. Okay, so that can be placed under the knees and have the same good effect in terms of comfort as a yoga bolster. So that is a possibility for you. You may also simply choose to use a comfortable cushion, such as I have here. Yours doesn't have to have fancy stars on it or glow in the dark the way this one does. Fancy, fancy. But use a pillow, a cushion, whatever you may like. And lastly, you may wish to have a blanket simply to pull over your body once you are feeling comfortably set in Shavasana. Often, as I mentioned with the chair posture, during any form of meditation, often the extremities lose sensation and you may feel less circulation and therefore a little bit cold during a meditation. So a blanket is a nice thing to have. Wherever you have decided to practice Yoga Nidra for the mini lesson, get yourself comfortable now as we are about ready to begin. Yoga Nidra, the shore of sleep. Preparation. Please settle into Shavasana. If you are not familiar with this posture, it involves lying on your back, arms at your sides, palms upward, feet shoulder width apart. Allow your feet to relax, sagging outward to the sides. You may lie on a yoga mat if you have one, but if not, you may use a blanket on the floor. Yoga Nidra, the shore of sleep. Preparation. Please settle into Shavasana. If you are not familiar with this posture, it involves lying on your back, arms at your sides, palms upward, feet shoulder width apart. Allow your feet to relax, sagging outward to the sides. You may lie on a yoga mat if you have one, but if not, you may use a blanket on the floor. It is also okay to lie on a sofa or even on a bed. Though these may lend themselves to falling asleep, and this is something you want to avoid, so choose your spot wisely. Use bolsters, pillows, or blankets to ensure the body is fully supported. Adjust your clothes, your hair, anything at all, so that you can become completely still. Close your eyes. We are entering the practice of Yoga Nidra, conscious sleep. Tell yourself, I will remain awake. I will remain still. For those with mobility issues, Yoga Nidra may also be practiced sitting in a chair. If this is your choice, make the chair as comfortable as possible with cushions or a blanket. You may wish to cover yourself in a blanket as well. Place your hands folded in your lap or in any other position of comfort for you. As those who will practice laying on a yoga mat in Shavasana, tell yourself silently, I will remain awake. I will remain still. The sankalpa, or resolve. Bring to mind a short, positive statement in the present tense. Something like, I am at peace. I am strong. Or I am fully relaxed. Repeat this silently with confidence to yourself 3 times with full feeling and emphasis. Do this now. Rotation of consciousness. We will now move awareness rapidly through the body. Do not concentrate too hard. Simply let your mind hop from point to point like a spark. Simply imagine or visualize each body part as it is mentioned, allowing your awareness to jump quickly from one to the next without hesitation. On the right side of your body, right hand thumb, second finger, third, fourth, fifth, palm of the hand, back of the hand, wrist, elbow, shoulder, armpit, right waist, hip, thigh, knee, ankle, heel, sole of the foot, right big toe, second, third, fourth, fifth, left side, left hand thumb, second finger, third, fourth, fifth, palm, back of the hand, wrist, elbow, shoulder, armpit, left waist, hip, thigh, knee, ankle, heel, sole, left big toe, second, third, fourth, fifth. The back, heels, calves, glutes, spine, lower back, mid back, shoulder blades, back of the head. Breath awareness. Become aware of the natural breath. Do not change it. Feel the breath moving between the navel and the throat. On the inhale, the navel rises. On the exhale, the navel falls. Start counting your breaths silently backward from 11 to 1, like so. 11, navel rising. 11, navel falling. 10, navel rising. 10, navel falling. Continue counting silently down to 1. If you lose count, simply start again at 11. Rapid visualization. I will name a few objects. Try to envision them clearly for just a moment. Do not focus for too long on any one object. Allow your awareness to move from one object to the next as they are mentioned. A flickering candle, a tall sunflower, a path through a pine forest, the vast blue ocean, a golden egg, the sun rising over a mountain. Externalization and closing. Become aware of the breath again. Feel the floor beneath you. Visualize the room around you. The practice of Yoga Nidra is now complete. Begin to wiggle your fingers and toes. Take a deep, waking breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. When you are ready, roll onto your right side. Breathe comfortably for a minute. Slowly press up to a seated position. This is a brief version of the practice of Yoga Nidra. If this practice speaks to you, consider joining me for an in-person Yoga Nidra course. Dates, times, and locations to be announced soon. Thanks for joining me at Mind Trainer Meditation and Yoga. Until next time, I wish you good health, happiness, and peace of mind. Namaste.